Disclaimer: Fair Use Act, education purpose, all rights in couple of I could whole life is cuz I was really on a journey case. Devil did all and the devil made me sign a contract and I was up under the oath and not to think about it. Like man, I looked at I ain't trying to but when it come to step the all I said, no. I was like, man, look, if I tell you this, like, man, look, Drake ain't telling us, like, man, look, he a Christian, he believe in God, he believe ever, he believe thing what the Bible said. I remember what they taught me. I don't know what church y'all, because you can go to pastor could preach different than pastor that I had, or everybody else, right? I just know what I'm saying? Mic check, mic check. My mic good. I'm breaking up. Golly. Hold on, y'all. Let me do it like this. Check 1 2, mic check 1 2. My mic good now. Is my mic good now, gang? Let me know right now. It's good now, right? It gotta be good. Hi, y'all. I know what I need to do now. I know what I need to do now, gang. All right, good. We good. We good now. This what I want to share with the world. Honestly, Trey Gang love Jesus. Jesus is real, but I don't think that's his real name. They're just like they're just like praising this man. It's like Jesus is real, bro, but that's not his real name. Is Jesus. If you do some digging outside the Bible, do it for Jesus. Do it. That's the only thing I can say. Do it for Jesus. I need to make some t-shirts. Do it for Jesus. He did it for you. That's all. What if Trey Gang tell you like, hey man, the Bible told you everything what you need to know, but only one thing is a flaw in it. It's the dates and the time. Cause you don't want to know when he got crucified and murdered and when he was born. So so if I say do it for Jesus and we always raised, Jesus came to save the world and we all witnessing, damn, they said they crucified him. We not witnesses. We not witnesses. We never actually saw that with our eyes. But the word of God always existed. That's all I'm saying. So now check this out. Trey ain't gonna translate to what Google said about the Bible about Jesus. All right. Then they say Jesus was born between the 6th and the 4th BC. Think about the first century. So guess when they said Jesus gonna be born in the first century. So once you get this the BC, they're gonna say this before Christ started at the first century. He died 33 years old, right? So he would die in the year 33. The first century in the year 33. If this what you're reading right now, that means Jesus was born in the first century. Well, came here in the first century. And we living in the 20th century. So that means won't Jesus murder happen 2026 years ago? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Is that a proven fact? Is that proven? You're reading it with your own eyes. Look, Jesus of Nazareth, right? Other names in the title was a first century Jewish preacher. Hold on, they trying to say Jesus was a Jewish. Y'all believe Jesus was a Jewish? Read outside the Bible, the books that supposed to be in the Bible, they took it out, right? They took it out. Basically, what I'm saying, do not believe me when I say this. You might want to look into the Bible and actually see, is Satan rewrote history to get Jesus out and replace Jesus with himself in the Holy Bible? In the Holy Bible. That's all I'm saying. Ooh, we got a problem. But check this out, y'all. Let's get to it. When I say let's get to it, I ain't finna talk for a while. I'ma just play videos, do my research live. And I just wanna see. You could pull all of this stuff up that the Bible didn't even want you to know. So basically, the Bible told you the truth, but didn't tell all the truth. Right? Check this out, y'all. Research with me. And I want to start out with Joe Rogan. Because you know Mel Gibson, he shot movie about the past of the Christ. When you rich and famous and you powerful in the music industry, you gonna travel all over the world and talk to real popes, real leaders, and all of this to get the perspective. Cause the way that I'm looking at Mel Gibson know the truth. But if he tell the truth, it's gonna cause his soul, not just only his soul, but the way that he would tell it. Put it like this here. If I say something, I got it from Mel Gibson and I'm translating it like this what he don't want to tell everybody. Cause you heard that phrase, you can't handle the truth. You want to know the truth? Well, you can't handle the truth. That phrase is really real. Cause when they say, what if If you finna be a witness right now, what I'm about to do is play video, look, listen, and learn. Let's go to Google. Let's ask AI. Let's do a real study mode. Who down for that? Let me know if you down for that. If you down for that right now, share this live video right now. Like this video. Cause this all education purposes. Now, listen to what Mel Gibson said. Only thing I see, Mel Gibson just confirmed what Google said. Google said Jesus was born in the 1st century. Mel Gibson said Jesus was born in the 1st century. Trey Gang saying, hey, Jesus was born in the 1st century. I'm just translating what they said. And this is fact checks. No more conspiracy theory. Because if you put the time in the dates, and guess how you can check everything out? By the solar eclipse. Once you find out a war outside the Bible, right? If you find a war, let's say you were a history fanatic, right? Just say you heard about this war in the 1st century. And it was a brutal war in the 1st century. In the land of Israel. Right? But it's talking about a real war with actually real names and actually human beings. If you take that war and say, hey, in the Bible, what war that was going on that they had to extend the war? I mean, like daylight saving time, you know, everybody know when daylight saving time, the sun stay longer than usual, right? See what I'm saying? Just say, if Trey Gang say, if I know something about the eclipse, I can go somewhere in the world that nobody don't know what the eclipse is about. And I can say, hey, the eclipse finna come in 6 months from now. What is that? My gods? My gods? What you mean your gods? Look. If I tell you the moon finna blot out the sun in 3 days, you don't think them folks finna take me serious when it actually happen? And them folk gonna be like, what the fuck? How would you know? Cause you predicted it. This is like I can go to a country and predict the weather. Like, man, you know it's gonna rain 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, how you know this shit? Cause I'm from the United States. We got radar and shit. You know, we got radars, and you know what I'm saying. Radars all over the world. I know all the weather at around the world. But I know it's a storm coming your way. Damn, for real, for real. Yep, it's coming your way right now. Listen to this, y'all. Did Mel Gibson just confirm Jesus was in the 1st century? When Trey Gang said it, Trey Gang, you wrong. Trey Gang, you wrong. No, Trey Gang, you wrong. Cause when I read my Bible and stuff, you know what I'm saying? No, Trey Gang, you wrong. Hold on. Watch what he said. Now, if Joe Rogan said, hey, they discovered the cover of art in Ethiopia, and I digged into that. The Bible gonna explain what's up with the art. It's gonna explain what the art is a covenant about. Listen to what the pastor and the preacher told you, right? Do some study. Guess where it's at? Guess where it's at? I ain't even gonna tell you. You can answer that on your free will in the chat. Yeah, it's over there. It's over there. Google it. Cause what I figured out Everything in the Bible, this how the Mason was looking at it. We're gonna get in the Bible because it's a murder cover up. But one thing they got to do admit, Jesus is the way. Ain't that something? Ain't that something, bruh? Ain't that something? Then make it so bad. Look how that word spread like wildfire. We don't have that history. We depend on the Bible or what happened in those days in Jesus' time. You want to know what really happened? Study the white man history. Study Chinese and study the African. And then when I tell you, hey, I'm thinking about the Garden of Eden is somewhere in Africa. Yeah, we can all agree with that because they say Adam and Eve were black. Nope, they weren't black. No. Trey Gang, they were black. All right. I let the scholars tell you. They told you they weren't black. And once I did my research so bad, I want to be like, yeah, we the first here. Make it so bad. We are the first here. Adam and Eve was created when Lucifer fell. And guess when they came up with this story? In the first century after when they killed the man. So if you kill a man in the neighborhood, just say like back in those days, no camera, how we live in advanced these days. Just imagine the whole hood witnessing Jesus getting murdered and he the son of God and they witness a motherfucking murder, a miracle, right? And then they witness the same people that witness it, they crucified and start killing all Christians that follow Jesus. Cause they saw it. And if the word get out, they would threaten anybody that believe in Jesus to the word. When they say God was the word, man, look. It spread it like wildfire. Guess what they had to do? Say this, Jesus is the way. And give you the murder story. Like, why y'all crucified him? Can't say he told y'all he was the son of God. He said, you seen me. I mean, he didn't say he was God. He said he was the son of God. And they knew this. Make it so bad. You have popes, preachers, and everything getting away with this false idol worship and everything and got people working in false idol. That's why, man, this shit crazy. Check this out. Look. Guess what? Now look. Where did Abraham try to sacrifice his son? Cause remember, he tried to put his son on there. Guess who he was listening to? Now you think God would tell Abraham, the God that we believe in, that's the most high, the truly, the only, the creator. Hey, get your firstborn son, and I want you to sacrifice your son. Ain't that the same thing the devil told me, Teresa? I'm finna cry right now. I didn't say this, and I didn't make this up. Kanika Jenkins' funeral, and what he said at the funeral. I didn't say this. I didn't preach these words. I didn't say nothing about this. This is what he said.
He said, Miss Teresa, I need you to sacrifice your daughter.
Just like
Abel.
I mean Abraham. See that?
Even though the devil didn't hurt you when he took your daughter, he couldn't even hurt you when he filled your body with. He couldn't even hurt you when he filled your body with cancer because you are a warrior. But then check this out. See, y'all gotta, oh, Jesus, I can't tell these people this, Jesus. I can't do this. I can't do it, Lord. I can't tell these people this. I can't tell them this. I can't tell them this. But then, I'm gonna tell you something else, Teresa. Hallelujah, Jesus. Woo! Woo! And you want to know something else that you so close with Joe?
Watch this. What if Trey Gang told y'all what it look like now if I would have told y'all? Don't believe me when I say this. You can do your own research to figure this out. Do not take what I say seriously because I don't want no backlash. You know what I'm saying? I just want everybody to do their research. What if I told you, you say you a Christian, right? And you say you read your Bible. And you know what the book of Job said, right? And the whole time, if research studies shows that, hey, the whole Bible told the truth, but somebody playing God and Jesus. It's like a rap game. Man, you got the same flow, same beat style, man. You done stole the whole man gimmick like Cat Williams said. Look at all the comments. They stealing jokes, right? And the whole time, what if I told y'all the God that's in the Bible that we believe in is not the God that we think it is? It was the God that I ain't got to say no more. I ain't even got to say no more after this one. That's why he referencing Kanika Jigga case to Job. Straight up like this girl.
Job had some haters.
Mm-hmm.
Job had some haters that didn't mean him no good. That was sitting by his bedside saying, die, Job. Die, Job. But Job was so strong in the Lord. Teresa was so strong in the Lord. He said she was sitting there with body rocking with pain from cancer. But the devil couldn't have her then. So then he says, Teresa, I'm sorry, I know that you're faithful, and I know that you love the Lord, but I need you to sacrifice your baby.
And I know you love the Lord, not God, but Satan. Because Satan gonna represent him as Lord God in the Bible, or the Most High in the Bible, to all God's words. See that? Can't blame me. Can't debunk me. You gotta debunk these people because I'm translating right now, goddamn. So if the devil told Miss Teresa that, listen to this again. Go to the Abraham story with the sacrifice.
I need you to sacrifice her, because what's about to happen is there's about to be a shift that's about to take place. There's about to be a shift that's about to take place. And if you did not sacrifice your baby, this shift would not be able to take place. Oh my God. So I'm going to encourage you on today. Give me a little help, musician. Come on, musician. Give me a little help. So I'm going to encourage you on today. Yes, she goes from the earthly body. But guess what? She's rejoicing in the Lord. She's happy. She's smiling.
Why didn't preach nothing about the hotel, the murder, didn't walk in the freezer, none of that, but a sacrifice. And you see all these people that was paid to be at a funeral. To make it look like, hey, that's Kanika in the casket. Man, you got the biggest news there. All the way in the back. But they know not to zoom in on that casket, though, because they know the truth. I see the game, Mr. Teresa. I see the game. With Satan. All because they crucified Jesus and came up with Freemasonry and started building temples all over the world. That's why you got and have every race that know about the stars and the moon from these advanced people. From these advanced people, right? Because they were fallen angels and gave some Hermes the light. Just imagine a drug dealer come tell you, but like, crack, crack, what? Look at that. Crack dealer in the world. Please, what they do? Like, and they all day back. You go a brick. Go to the hood. Let's see that. Back again. So this is like a drug dealer coming by the devil wants. All right.
And she's jumping for joy. I need y'all to know right now is your time to place this
Keep out the
shift,
furniture.
to go through this shift. Because God is about to shift some things.
King Rob told everybody and told the king they pay these people to come to church and everything. Look how many people clap.
She's gone. We finna send her on. Give her back to the Lord. But we not sad. We not sad. You know why we not sad? Because she's not bound to the earthly problems no more. She won't hurt you no more. Won't nobody break her heart no more. Sickness can't enter her body. She's walking the street that's paved with gold. A river flowing with milk and honey. I tell you to just say yeah. 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 I tell you to just say yeah. Say yeah. Oh my God.
This is going to blow your mind. The first words in the Bible, in the beginning. Listen to what those words translate to in Hebrew with their letters.
In the beginning.
Okay, let's pause right there. Look at this in Hebrew.
Hebrew word for beginning is this word right here, bereshit. And remember, they read from right to left. So we will break down every letter together. So from right to left, this is the letter Beit, Resh, Aleph, Shin, Yod, and Tav. Beit, Resh, Aleph, Shin, Yod, Tav spell Bereshit, which means the beginning, and it's already forming a sentence. The Son of God destroyed by his own hand on the cross. But we're not done yet. Another one is Shin, Yod, and Tav together. It is read say it, but the English word is thorns. Resh, Aleph, and Shin, which is read as Rosh, and in English it means head. So this means tree, cypress tree, actually. These two together, the Shin and Yod, means gift.
Okay, let's try to put this.
Damn, and that's what he just said in this video, the skulls and what animated it was a skull. Boy, look at this. Everything she just broke down, she just broke down with everything what Mel Gibson just said. Look, when you go into the beginning, you got the head. What? Hold on. Watch this.
First words in the Bible, in the beginning. Listen to what those words translate to in Hebrew with their letters.
In Hebrew. So Hebrew wasn't the first language in the world. I just said, Google said this shit. other YouTubers saying this shit. Trey ain't learning and interpreting this shit because I'm like, damn, how about when you do research and be like, damn, this shit sound like this, then you watch other YouTube and tell you shit like this?
Letters.
In the beginning.
Begin!
Pause right there, look at it in Hebrew.
Hebrew word for beginning is this word right here, bereshit. And remember, they read from right to left. So we will break down every letter together. So from right to left, this is the letter Beit, Resh, Aleph, Shin, Yod, and Tav. Beit, Resh, Aleph, Shin, Yod, Tav spelled Bereshit, which means the beginning, and it's already forming a sentence. The Son of God destroyed by his own hand on the cross. But we're not done yet. Another one is Shin, Yod, and Tav together. It is read say it, but the English word is thorns. Resh, Aleph, and Shin, which is read as Rosh, and in English it means head. So this means tree, cypress tree, actually. These two together, the Shin and Yod, means gift.
Okay, let's try to put this together.
The Son of God destroyed by his own hand on the cross with thorns on his head, hung up on a tree as a gift of the covenant.
Wait, so Jesus was in the
Well, let's look into that then. Alright. Hold on. Let's look into that. Check this out. I believe them the skulls and bones that the Freemasonry, like with George Bush and them, you know what I'm talking about? Them the skulls and bones. 332. All right. Hold on. Pull it up like this. Skull of Adam is traditionally believed to be located where? The site where Jesus was crucified. Right? What Mel Gibson said, what was the location there? He said, as many Christian icons and crucifixions, the skull of Adam is depicted at the foot of the cross, serving as a powerful reminder of the Savior that Jesus offered to all humanity. Man, I can't even make this shit up, bro. Same thing Mel Gibson said.
Beginning? In the beginning was the Word. And who was the Word? The Word was God.
So they are hiding this from us?
Exactly. Look at the old architecture in cities like Chicago or DC. Does it really look like it was built by people using horses and wooden buggies, hammers, manual saws, and basic pulleys? But look at the precision. Those 50-ton marble columns and intricate friezes. They require power tools and precision logistics.
And they claim they built these in just 2 or 3 years in the 1800s.
Exactly. It's logistically impossible. Now look at the cornerstones of some of these buildings. You'll see dates like I-850 or J-850 instead of 1850.
Wait, I or J, not a 1?
Right? Some researchers suggest the I stands for Isis, meaning year 850 of Jesus. It implies someone added 1,000 years to our timeline to hide a massive gap.
A gap? For what?
Tartarian Empire. It's on every map before 1850, covering half the globe, a civilization with atmospheric energy tech that we've been taught to call ornamental architecture.
So we didn't build these cities?
We found them. We moved into the ruins after a global reset, slapped a 1 on the dates, and called it our own history. If we didn't build it, you have to ask, where did the original owners go?
When they landed on the moon, did they see anything?
The story goes that there's a radio blackout when Neil and Buzz are up there, when they first get there. And the story is, well, how the orbit works, sometimes the radio signal drops, whatever. The story is they switch over to the medical channel and said, they're here, they're on the crater, and they can see us. That's what the story is. And Ingo Swann said he saw things on the moon.
I'm trying to see why I don't even see the moon. When it comes to Google Maps, I feel like somebody playing the game here, like, damn, why you got Google Maps and you don't show the moon, but you got satellite? If you got a satellite, man, that's supposed to have HD of the moon. You gonna have video cameras on it. And this screen, you got the satellite over there, you mean tell me you won't put a camera on the satellite? If you got a satellite floating in the atmosphere, you ain't got a camera on that junk? Something suspicious. I would never think about these things till you look into research and you would ask questions like that. Wait a minute. Astronaut can't show you the stars. I see why they can't show you the stars. But guess who came from the stars and created Adam and Eve? And look at the people that's flying to the moon and telling y'all, look, y'all, check it out. But why you checking out? You know about UFOs and all this, but we don't understand it now. But if we understand like that, that's why UFOs coming to the world. And they fallen angels. Check it out. Look, Google Maps. This is the United States of the world. United States done too. When Christopher Columbus came over here, they over this land, they took over massive land. They even took over Mexico, Niagara, you know what I'm saying? Columbus, Venezuela. They took all of this shit over. And they come from Africa. Invaded this land, right? But the land ain't big enough. Look at Donald Trump right now and be like, damn, Donald Trump finna take over the whole world if he be president in a minute, because he already took Venezuela. They already got Israel, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, why did?
He saw structures, he saw beings that are there. If you go through secondary sources, every astronaut has seen strange things in space. Edgar Mitchell is on record as saying UFOs are real, they're extraterrestrial, Roswell is real, that happened, we have craft, government is lying. This is the sixth man to walk on the moon. This is not a kook, this is an American hero. So something's clearly going on up there.
Because in 1884-85, Europeans sat at a table in Berlin, Germany, not a single African there, and carved up Africa into the territories that we now sometimes call countries and illogically refer to as nations. Africans didn't do that. It was Europe that did that. It was Europe and imperialism that required African to be so that the resources of Africa, both human and material, could come and pave the streets in London and grow the buildings in Amsterdam and bring clean water to New York, while the streets in Sierra Leone are not paved. And the people in Sierra Leone do not have clean water. There's no national electric grid there. It is necessary to keep Africa divided by European imperialism.
Because even I saw Charlemagne, he was saying something about the Epstein files because Jay-Z is in the Epstein files. Let's go down that rabbit hole real quick.
That. Yeah, because Charlemagne, he works for the machine, so he's taking his cues.
He's hustling.
Just hustling.
So he says, actually, we can't take this as credible evidence because Jay-Z, he just got on in 96. He's saying that the FBI tip that they got from this victim made this statement saying that I got assaulted by Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z
right
in 96. And then Pusha T was in there saying the same thing, saying, hey, I was with Harvey Weinstein and Pusha T in 2007. So Harvey Weinstein seems like he was getting around. He seems to be the common thread. Now, where is he?
Harvey Weinstein?
Yes.
Oh, he's in jail.
Exactly. And if he's the common link between all these people, so you have all these accounts saying this. So the runway stops when it comes to the Epstein files for Jay-Z.
Oh yeah, when it's Jay-Z, oh no. He's in pictures with all these motherfuckers. It can't be true.
He knew all of them. So which is it? Because it's real when it pertains to people like Trump, but the runway goes out when it comes to Jay-Z.
See what it is? If Trump and Weinstein actually drop fire-ass records, nobody's looking.
That's a fact.
Yeah, because you have to separate the art from the person, which a lot of people can't do.
He had a whole album and tour with R. Kelly.
Yo, who did R. Kelly mess with underage?
Aaliyah.
Who did Jay-Z mess with before Dame Dash?
Aaliyah.
So you're talking about underage women, and before that, who did Jay-Z sleep with when she was underage?
Foxy Brown.
I'll say allegedly.
Allegedly.
But it's been known for a long time throughout the whole 90s. There's a trail. It's pattern recognition.
Yeah, it's a pattern.
Now the runway runs out when it comes to the Epstein files. So which is it? See, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah,
This is what I mean. You can't be like, so-and-so, Bill Clinton and all these other people are in the files, but then when it comes to the black...
Yeah, y'all got to cut out that that race
Yeah,
shit.
we heard that story when it comes to Diddy.
Yeah.
You see where he's at right now.
That race trick is over, I'm telling y'all. Nobody's falling for that anymore.
I was actually just literally arguing with somebody on X because they were like, Jay-Z wasn't on in 96.
Yes, he was.
Here's the thing. People don't understand the rollouts, especially in the 90s when it comes to releasing a record. They need 2 years at least for marketing, promotion, preparation, funding. So he was already on before that, which means they already saw value in him as a stock.
Courtney Love said on The Breakfast Club that she saw Jay-Z in 88 in London in a fucking crazy ass flat. And he was there for like 5 months.
5 months, had the state-of-the-art studio. Now, what did Jay-Z say? I've been spending money since
88. There's that 88 again.
There's that 88.
I mean, he was supposedly a big dope dealer. So were you the dope dealer for the elites and that's how you got in? Oh, Pusha T too. Was he that too? He also performed at the Vatican. Pusha T, by the way.
There you go.
Wait,
Pusha T performed at the Vatican in 2025.
how do you perform at the Vatican?
Cut scene, he's on the Epstein files.
So let's look into this then, since I just pulled all of this shit up right here. Right? I just pulled all of this stuff up right. Check this out. Look. Right? Everybody know who ISIS is. And I tell y'all, man, you know ISIS could be a white girl. A snow bonnet. You know what I'm talking about? Look, watch this. When it comes to horrors, hold up. And they said they were God. These people were actually, these the people that will be staying in the tomb. What person that will be staying in the middle of a desert? Like mansions, like these people stand in pyramids and temples. Look, watch this. Check it out. What if I told you it's like, hey, it's probably why the reason the Africans will be dressing like this. If you took an African out the jungle and you want to be like, hey, I could teach you about and like, wait a minute, what you could teach us? We already, you know what I'm saying, civilized. We already got buildings and structure. But he was like, but we could build some mystique. We could show you, we'll build it on your land, and we'll make you Pharaoh, give you a white girl. Don't believe me. No, don't believe me. Don't believe me. Watch how everybody believe Cat Williams, though. Cat Will expose how celebrities get their wives.
Against the team?
Yes.
I've taken 46 comedians with me on the road. 46.
Okay.
I'm not the comedian you can give that to. I only put on comedians that are funnier than me. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, they're all a group. Cedric, Steve, Ricky, they've been a group. Everybody knows that. They've been aligned. And there are these alliances in comedy. And if you stand against them, then they sometimes have a problem. But we don't let that change the content, because that's all you know me for, is that I'm quite likely to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
It seems to me, Cat, that you had a lot to get off your chest.
No.
You wanted to set the record straight.
Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. I don't say any of these things if my name is not breached by these people on your platform. If you give a liar a platform to lie, then I'm not being messy by saying, hold on, that never happened, it's untrue, and there are hundreds of witnesses for each thing I'm saying. I don't harbor any resentment to any of these entities because I can't be jealous. I've never seen them have anything that I ever wanted. If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview.
Oh, man,
listen.
Cat Williams said this. Let me say this too. I know what Cat Williams said about this. Because look what I showed the whole world about this. Hold up. He wasn't lying when he said that. Gotta go. Oh, no. Oh, not. Oh, nope. That, nah. I can just go, girl. Type in, oh, I got the video, goddammit. The Cat Williams said they'll give you weird white-faced women. I hit. Gotta go to my playlist and right. I think this is right here. And
now a local tax expert will do your taxes for $150 all in. They know you're.
The government is banning these $29 adaptive glasses next month. And this is your last shot to get the original military.
Before, we have to use visual documentation to bring this back
shit Cat Williams said.
for other brothers and sisters to see it, because they may not never make it back like you. But there were many invasions that came into Africa. When Normer, that we dealt with earlier, we talk about Normer when he reunited Upper and Lower Egypt, first defeating the Scorpion, bringing together the first world government. But it spoke of the Asiatic invasions. Even back during his time, Egypt faced many invasions that came in by way of the Delta. These were the Asiatics that you see right here. Now, as I mentioned before, the Asiatics who came across the Sinai. So here we see the earliest recording of these people who came in and settled with us for a while, till they built in numbers, and then eventually attacking Egypt. This is again from Khnum-Hotep's tomb from the 12th dynastic period, right during the time of Amenhotep III. Here again, Menethos talks about, now you can see the Hyksos who came into Egypt, and Menethos said, unexpectedly from the region of the east came men of unknown race. Confident of the victory, they marched against our land. By force, they took it easy without a single battle. Having overpowered our rulers, they burned our cities without compassion and destroyed the temples. All the people were treated with great cruelty, for they slew some and carried off the wives of children of others into slavery. Doesn't that sound like a familiar account? This period is documented around 1650 or 1750, right around the same time of Abraham. Now,
Remember Abraham timeline.
Take a good look of the pictures that I showed earlier too. These were the Hyksos that you see right here. These were the invaders, just as you see them carved in stone right here. These are the people who came out of the Sinai. Some say from Mitanni, some say they were Horians. These are the Temerians who were indigenous to the Nile Valley, as well as the Ta-Nehisian brothers who were further up in the southern part of Egypt, or Kemet, ancient Ethiopia as some would call it. These were the Tamahu people who invaded from Libya from the west. They attacked Egypt after the 6th dynastic period. Now, it was this brother that we showed again, Ahmose I, who finally expelled them out of our land. Now, I'm showing this in reference with the temple, how our ancestors, you're witnessing, recording these people who came into our land, who invaded until Ahmose I finally expelled them. We want to give you documented evidence to show you that we were at war with these people who invaded our land. We did not have anyone enslaved, but in fact, the Hyksos enslaved us for 200 years. If we deal with the 21st dynasty, 22nd dynasty, 23rd dynasty, these were all Asiatic. Shishak, that Badawi will show us in a little while, he was also of Asiatic origin. So again, indigenous African Kemetic people were not even on the throne then. This is why this is so important to understand this in the Bible, because by looking at the Bible in America and the Western world, they look at this as all being part of Egypt, not saying that we were enslaved ourselves by these Asiatic people. And the same people who are ruling us today, who are exploiting us out of our minds, are the same people who invaded our land long ago, who came in even during the time of the 12th dynastic period, right after Amenemhet.
Meaning European people, bruh. You see what I'm saying? And you mean to tell me, look.
That never happened, it's untrue, and there are hundreds of witnesses for each thing I'm saying. I don't harbor any resentment to any of these entities because I can't be jealous. I've never seen them have anything that I ever wanted. If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview. Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get.
Whoa! That sound like what he's saying. Hey, think about the man's invading the land and think about how, look at that time at that period. Man, they sunk the white women on the blacks. Because if we're going to settle on your land, we'll school you like that. And if you accept my daughter and all this shit come with royalty. Yeah, I ain't said it. Cat Williams said it. You can't put 2 and 2 together when he's saying, who is these people that's invading the land of Egypt in North Africa?
And we called them the troglodytes who came out of the desert. How can we dispute this documented evidence, documented information? But the only way we're going to get this story right, we're going to have to start writing our own holy text, because if everybody else have had their story and revised the Bible, then why can't we, the original writers of the book, bring it back to its African origin? Now, right here on these temples here, now you can see documented where we tied them up, roped them, and forced them out of our land. These are the people that we've always had problems with.
And that's why Moses said, let my people go. Guess who he had to tell that to? Once you gave the secret, the Freemasonic, put them in slavery. Now this how America, check this out. When they enforced them out their land, guess what they forced to? Come to the United States and try to steal some more goddamn land. I ain't say this, the history book said it. I'm just translating what the history book said, and I'm just peeping game on it like, yep, this is not right. 2 + 2 = 4, or 2 + 2 = 5. Listen to this shit. Cat, what you said about they give you the women, and then look what he wearing when he say this shit. Look.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with, and they don't with who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team. Right. They have all the assets and resources, and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee
the problem
you
is,
it won't.
Wow.
Because in 1884-85, Europeans sat at a table in Berlin, Germany, not a single African there, and carved up Africa into the territories that we now sometimes call countries and illogically refer to as nations. Africans didn't do that. It was Europe that did that. It was Europe and imperialism that required Africa to be so that the resources of Africa, both human and material, could come and pave the streets in London and grow the buildings in Amsterdam and bring clean water to New York, while the streets in Sierra Leone are not paved. And the people in Sierra Leone do not have clean water. There's no national electric grid there. It is necessary to keep Africa divided by European imperialism.
Because even I saw Charlemagne, he was saying something about the Epstein files because Jay-Z's in the Epstein files. Let's go down that rabbit hole real quick.
That. Yeah, because Charlemagne, he works for the machine, so he's taking his cues.
He's hustling.
Just hustling.
So he said,
is the answer yes or no to whether or not you met with these women who were sexually abused and raped? Yesterday, you testified to Senator Kennedy that there was, quote, no credible information that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone else, and that you have, quote, continuously and publicly asked the public to come forward with more information and we'll look into it. Today, in response to Mr. Massey's question, you appear to say that the survivors were not credible. These are survivors.
That's not at all what I said.
Okay, great. I'm going to ask you this in a second, but let me tell you about the survivors, and let's bring them up here into the room. These are women who came to the Hill and testified that they were groomed and raped at the age of 14 and 16 years old, and they called to meet with the president and to meet with the FBI and to have people investigate their claims. Some of them have never testified before. If you are so interested in getting the public to submit any information, why have you not met with them? You said you haven't met with them. Have you met with them? I'll give you one more chance.
My job as the FBI director is to invite
Is
all
the answer yes or no
leads.
to whether or not you met with these women who were sexually abused and raped?
Any insinuation by you or any people on your side that I am not manhunting child predators and sex traffickers, just look at the stats.
With all the Epstein information that has come out, childhood cartoons have become extremely creepy to watch.
In the Disney film, in Pinocchio, he talks about bringing the boys to Pleasure Island.
How would you blokes like to make some real money? Well, and who do we have to, No, nothing like that. I'm collecting stupid little boys, and I take them to Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island? But the law, suppose they... No, there's no risk. They never come back as boys.
There must be a secret group of people that have been engaging in stuff like that for a long time.
They would have these parties in the Hollywood Hills, you know, and then they would have a parking lot where they would shuttle people up. So everybody would meet in this parking lot and they would send shuttles down to, you know, Diddy's parties. And so I wasn't ever invited to the parties, but I was invited to the parking lot because I knew the people that ran the shuttle service. You knew him too, as it turned out. But yeah, I would go to the parking lot and I would watch them all go up there, and they would be thinking I'm coming later. I'm still in the parking lot when they come down, and just to see all them big time Hollywood men that I just watched go up there, they all come down off the shuttle and looking sad in the eyes, and all of them wearing Sean John and looking oily, and they all walk crazy like this, and their shoelaces were always untied. I don't know why. Their shoelaces were always untied. And then they would get in their car and they would drive off standing up.
Welcome back to part 3 of every single billionaire mentioned in the latest batch of the Epstein files. First up today, LinkedIn founder Reid Hoffman, who appears in the new documents 2,500 times. In 2014, he sent Epstein 2 gifts, including ice cream, quote, for the girls, and, quote, something that might strike your funny bone for the island, which was later revealed to be a sculpture of a little monster. And then we have private equity CEO Mark Rowan, who Trump actually just appointed to the Gaza Board of Peace. Well, we're learning from the new files that he had years of correspondence and many meals with Epstein, and Epstein even had his assistant get the details of Rowan's private jet that Epstein was considering buying. Next up is musician turned businessman Jimmy Buffett, and we'd previously learned he'd visited Epstein Island with Bill Clinton. But in this batch, we learned that the Buffetts were invited to the same ritzy event that Epstein was, and Epstein was planning to give Buffett a tour of his massive Boeing private jet, but we don't know if that ever happened. And then we have Josh Harris, who owns the 76ers and the Washington Commanders, and the new emails show that Epstein facilitated a $2.4 million payment from Harris to an executive assistant with no context of what it was for. He also took many meetings with Epstein, and it's important to note with him, as well as most of the billionaires on this list, that these meetings took place after Epstein was already a convicted sex offender. And we have Mark Zuckerberg, who only directly appears in the files once in this new picture that Epstein sent to himself from an intimate dinner in 2015. Looks like Epstein sat next to Zuckerberg, and you can also see Elon Musk in the photo. But interestingly, Zuckerberg is mentioned in many news articles Epstein collected, including when an unknown friend sent Epstein this headline: Mark Zuckerberg covers his laptop camera and you should consider it too. So it's just
So check this out. This is the reason why I like all these videos, because these videos is informational. Remember when Trey Gang was like, look y'all, I did the FBI files, and Trey Gang said the most crazy thing. I believe the FBI is responsible for all these kids come up missing. I said it. And you see it in your face, and I don't even want to say like, yeah, I can't say it, cause the first thing the person gonna be like, man, Trey Gang, you capping right now. You capping. Matter of fact, I ain't capping when I show you this shit.
Are you worried that the United States, there are a lot of people saying the following, happens to be from one conservative American magazine: Saddam must go.
That's none of the business of the United States. Saddam is the leader of Iraq. It's up to the people of Iraq to decide who their leader should be. It's not up to the State Department or the White House or the Pentagon to decide on that. We have been seeing and reading this nonsense, you see, for 6 or 7 years, and President Saddam Hussein is in his place. He's supported by his people, trusted by his people, and he will remain until God decides and the people of Iraq decide, not the American editors, not the American government. Saddam Hussein serves faithfully and devotedly the interest of Iraq. That's why you don't like him. You would like to have a proxy, you see, in Iraq who would say yes
you being the United States government,
yes,
or the United States.
Yeah, you would like to pick an agent.
Yeah, I think that you could argue.
Nobody cares about the guy that's trying to help other people in real life. So they were not really fans of Nikola Tesla while he was here because of, you know, the fact that he was honest. He didn't say he came up with his ideas. He said he went to Egypt and got the information. In all parts of history, people were coming to this region for their information and their knowledge and their things that were forbidden, and these were not these were the highest of human civilization. Even Tesla says that this is where he came to get the information. And he said that he studied that in the Sumerians and came up with it, and he wanted to just give free energy to the world. And as soon as they knock him off now, everybody can make billions of dollars off of energy, and everybody can have an electric company, and you know. So this road is a dangerous and hazardous road, but it has all the benefits as well.
At this point, most people are questioning whether this is even a joke or if he's being completely serious.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it. Talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. When they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things, look at them trying to cover it up.
Do you think you're the devil himself? No, but I do have a good mirror. It's a serious question. Do you think you're the devil himself? I don't know. Why would you say that? Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember the devil is somebody who knows smart? The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost. No, the devil scares me. Satan is at the number 1 or 2 archangel, and the reason he goes to hell.
I mean, when you go and you look at real European history, would believe that if they took a bath, that was bad. Right. They didn't even want to change their clothes. They thought that dirty was purity. When we talk about the Moors going into Spain and into Europe, the stories in the history, our history, says that when we met the so-called Caucasian, he was sleeping in the barn with the animals, and we told him, no, you can't sleep in the barn with animals. We taught them etiquette. We taught them running water. We brought that technology to Europe that saved Europe from the Black Plague. If we saved the white race, that we weren't already in America already, when we brought the technology, when Rome was dependent on Africa for food. Remember when the Black Plague hit Rome? The cause was one of the officials was stealing the grain that was coming from Africa.
This history, bro. Wall Street.
Money is evil, then that building is hell. This is the most obnoxious group of money-hungry, low IQ, high-energy, jackrabbit, fucking wannabe, big-time, small-time, shit-talking, bothersome, irritating bunch of motherfuckers I have ever had to endure for more than 5 minutes.
440 hertz is the music industry standard. They know that that particular frequency disrupts DNA. Once that was discovered, they transferred everything into 440 hertz. It used to be 432. They've learned that they can manipulate the human mind. They can consistently hit you with the same cymatic statements. In other words, words over and over and over again. This is why if you tune into many different news stations, when there's some type of occurrence going on, where every news station will say the same exact thing, and this script that they're reading is for entrainment programming, to entrain us into fear.
And agenda controlling exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous.
We don't understand a historical war. It's a historical war with these people. And European Ashkenazi European Jews know this. We're the people who don't know it. It's an ancient historical war from the time we've had contact with them. So we're coming back here and hearing the words of our ancestors and those who knew what happened in that day, and that's why they had to turn the story against African people. So you're coming back for an eyewitness account, not for spiritual enslavement, but for spiritual freedom, for the emancipation of our souls, for the resurrection of African people.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir. For many years, brothers and sisters returned back with us on the Kemet New Know Thyself educational tour to see an eyewitness account what our ancestors wrote for us on the temples and tombs, which are books in stone, that now end up in many of the biblical stories today. Let's continue with the live lecture.
These are the people who enslaved our people. These people set up in an area of Kemet and Lower Kemet called Avaris, took over, and were enslaving the Africans for over 200 years until Seqenen-Re-Tau of the 17th dynasty, and it is he who waged war on the battlefield, and his life was lost on the battlefield, and it was his son, Thutmose, who continued the battle until his son, Thutmose, who opened up the 18th dynasty. This is a real person, brothers and sisters, who said never again. He was the liberator, the emancipator, who kicked these Hyksos out of our land. This is the real historical account that we've got to start teaching our people, brothers and sisters. So they took from this African right here, his name Thutmose, and made a Moses. This is the only account that we expelled a large group of people out of our land, this African right here, who opened up the 18th dynasty known as the Golden Age. This is the historical account, brothers and sisters. In fact, let's go into another warrior soldier, as we see in his name, Men-Kepera, Tahuti Mays. He had 17 battles and won them all. He also wanted to make sure that these Hyksos were not going to come into our land. Here you see Men-Kepera's battle, showing where he's battling the Hyksos. Look at some of them hiding behind trees as cowards right here. This is the story that our ancestors left us in stone, as though they knew that one day we would forget our story. Here's the battle of Men-Kepera, who battled and wanted to make sure these Hyksos were not going to come into our land. In fact, this brother, he made sure that he even educated these people he was conquering into the Kemetic history, okay, initiated them into make sure that they will keep control of people that they're conquering. So that brother was brilliant. In fact, he put a whooping on a city so bad called Megiddo. Do you know this is where the name Armageddon came from, Megiddo right here? That's where the origin of that name came from. But this is the brother, Ursama At Rasab Tepenrara Mesumori Amen, a little practice you can say it too. He also had to fight some people called the Hittites. See, we're constantly at war with these people coming from the north, brothers and sisters. We left the reliefs over 3,000 years ago carved in stone. In fact, there's one story right here where Ursama Atra told his generals, he said, cut off the right hand of the enemy. But he noticed that the right hand and the left hand was turning up. He told them to cut off the right hand to make sure that they weren't cowards. So he said, the enemy only has one thing I know they got, and that's the penis, the foreskin. So he told them to cut off the foreskin, and that's what you see right here, the foreskin right here. These are stories and accounts that's carved on these temples, brothers and sisters. Our story is here. Now, what does that have to do with the scriptures? Well, let's go to Samuel, and it talks about David wants to marry the daughter of Saul. So Saul tells him to go and do what? Cut off the foreskin of the Philistines, as it says in Samuel chapter 18, verse 27. Wherefore David arose and went, and he and his men, and slew of the Philistines 200 men, and David brought their foreskins, and they gave them the full tale to the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law. So here you got it written here in Saul, but long before Saul, our ancestors cut off the foreskin, where Ramesu told his generals to cut off the right hand, and he noticed right and left hands were turning up, and he told them to cut off the foreskins, where it ended up in Saul in the Bible. What makes somebody who just put it on some paper versus that which is carved in stone? Spiritual enslavement.
Scribe makes step-by-step guides for any process with AI. You know what's terrifying?
Again, now you can feel the effect of this most powerful mastaba of Meruka. We are right here inside a mastaba that has over 300 rooms. This brother formed his mastabas for his whole family, like a home with rooms and many rooms, and look how large it is. And we're talking about during the Old Kingdom. And he was a Tajeti, or what is known as a vizier for Teti. Now, what was his job? What did he do? He looked over all the others who were the builders of the mastabas. He also was the overseer of the crafts in the area. Now, what relationship can we connect that to what we know today? That is masonry. This is where he was the overseer of, he was the grand master.
Now we finna talk about masonry. See that game? What if Trey Gang told y'all, like, this the reason if you introduce African to Freemasonry, you could settle on their land, and the African was like, you are the devil. The first terms I heard was blue-eyed, blonde-haired devils when Hollywood came out with those movies and said that. And I'm like, why would Hollywood would even make a movie and that term would stick with you? Like, yeah, white man, blue-eyed with blue devil. And I'm not even a racist, you know what I'm saying? I love every race in the world. I love anybody that's righteous. I don't care if you're pink, blue, chocolate. I don't care. But I'm finna touch on the subject about racism, and I don't want nobody to be like, man, I feel offended. Don't get offended. Do not get offended at all. This history. The truth hurts. So, if he said this would go back to Freemasonry, why did Trey Gang told everybody? I'm like, look, y'all, I had actually got my hands on the Sunday Bible. And in the book of Genesis, it told me who was the person that formed the Freemasonry, and that's in the book of Genesis. And it just blew my mind. I'm like, damn. They were Masons, and they were telling you about this the reason why they built the pyramid. This was a lodge made out of dirt. This will make you believe, like, hey, dude, check this out. A Christian would tell you, do you believe in Jesus? Yeah, I believe in Jesus. A Mason would be like, yeah, do you believe in the architect? Yeah, I believe in the architect. Because I see your works. You could do what a human can't do. And you gave us technology, Lucifer? Yeah. Because all it is, when you look at it, it's a pyramid, right? But if you look at it, it's a block. If you look at the numbers, now they finna get mad at me. Start off with a square and enter the centerpiece of the square. Once you do, like, okay, what's the centerpiece of a square? Once you draw the square, you could draw angles. So now look, you got 1 pyramid, 2 pyramid, 3 pyramid, 4 pyramid in the 1 pyramid in the square block. That might sound strange to a lot of people, but if you do your research, you'll be like, I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Keep it going. Keep it going right now. It's a block. But when you see the Illuminati from the sides, they give you one side of the pyramid. This how you get your degree. Once you know the square and the compass. Man, I'm getting spooked. Every Mason gonna stand on that square because you got to set the cornerstone. You gotta build a square before you structure. That's all I'm just saying. Look, you see what I'm saying? Look at the Illuminati. Don't look at these. Do you see this a block right here, right? All right, this a block. You can draw a line to right here in the middle, to here in the middle, here in the middle, to here from the 4 angles. Look at the world. When they were trying to say, you know, the world flat, But the world, I don't know. It's just a conspiracy theory at the point where I'm finna get with this. I don't know if the world flat or is it round. But one thing I do know, the Bible speaks about the four corners and the kings came in the center of the world and they all had a battle. I do know that much. I learned that just by being a Christian and listening to the pastor. I done had some, man, bro, don't you know the pastor that I was raised, you know what I'm saying, going to church with? When I say this pastor, I'm talking about since I was a kid all the way up to my 20s, bro. Strictly Bible verses, no music, no, just strict Bible verses. And I remember those stories because I like to hear about, damn, David and Goliath, what they did. Then they marched down there, you know, then God said this and God said that, right? If you look at it as a Freemasonry, you'll be like, oh, I see the squirrel. I can see 3D. Just look at it like this here. If you walk outside right now, your eyes is seeing 2D image. The way you placed on the ground, you in 2D image. But if you open your eyes and your playground, you can look at the world in 3D, 4D image. Whatever you focus on, right? Because here go the other pyramid. And they said these pyramids is lined with the stars. You got 1, 2, 3 right here, right? They aligned with the stars of Orion. Right? Listen to this.
Of all, can we here inside of Mastaba that has over 300 rooms. This brother formed his mastabas for his whole family, like a home with rooms and many rooms, and look how large it is. And we're talking about during the Old Kingdom. And he was a Tajeti, or what is known as a vizier for Teti. Now, what was his job? What did he do? He looked over all the others who were the builders of the mastabas. He also was the overseer of the crafts in the area. Now, what relationship can we connect that to what we know today? That is masonry. This is where he was the overseer of, he was the grand master of all the crafts, all the workers in this area. So he was a very serious grand vizier that would be equivalent to somebody like Imhotep. But he was for Teti. Now, of course, to become such a high status, you had to go to school for 40 years to become the Grand Master. He was what you would call a son of light. The son of light was achieved by opening up of his mind, opening up his pineal gland. The position that you will see of all the Grand Masters, such as Mer Ruka, is with his left leg forward. And many of the other kings, you always see the left leg forward. Why is the left leg always forward? The left leg is forward, first of all, because the heart is on the left side, and they must trample down evil. Evil is always present. If
you do your research, the heart is in the center of the body. I used to think the heart was on the left, right? Let me ask Google right quick. No, Trey Gang, you wrong. The heart is, you know, let me see if I'm wrong or not. And I correct myself if I am. I'll be right back. Hold on, y'all. Where is the heart located? Body.
According to medicalnewstoday.com, the heart is a complex organ that pumps blood throughout the body. It sits in the chest, slightly left of center, behind the breastbone, and between the lungs.
Oops, my bad. But it's slightly to the left. It's in the center. It's to the left of the center. Right? It's just slightly to the left though. Right? Now this the heart right here. Well, you know, I heard I was watching a video and they were like, you know, your heart is really in the center. I'm like, I ain't know that. You know, I thought the heart was to the left. Because when I say the heart to the left, I'm thinking like right here. But it just slightly off to the left. So it just basically like center. So I wasn't just wrong, you know what I'm saying, on that jump though. It just slightly center to the left, you know what I'm talking about. At least we goddamn it correct that.
Ancestors understood the laws
What
of
you say, what was
opposites.
that, Jack?
The other kings, you always see the left leg forward. Why is the left leg always forward? The left leg is forward, first of all, because the heart is on the left side, and they must trample down evil. Evil is always present. Our ancestors understood the laws of opposites, so he must walk with his left foot forward to trample down evil so his heart can go forward. See, as you trample it down, then your heart will go forward. So this was the purpose of the left leg forward, to trample down evil for his heart to go forward. Later, the European military took this from Kemet, left, right, left, right, left, right. This is where that came from. This African here also has the apron. That's the symbol, and he also has the collar. Now look at that very closely, because you know this guy. His name is George Washington. He has his left leg forward. Look at the collar and the apron. Where did it? Now you have come back, all the way back, and seeing the origin. But we want to show you where this came from. This didn't start in no 1717 tea house in England. This was the 360 degrees what we had, not no 33 degrees, a few degrees above freezing. These were the true grand masters. This is the origin. So why would you go back to Jerusalem with Solomon's temple, supposedly where Hiram Habith was the grand master for Solomon of 900 years BC? Brothers and sisters, this is over 4,000 years ago. There was no Hiram Habith yet. There was no Solomon yet. So why should we be worshiping them? Because we have lost our story. This is where it all began, Masons.
And that's what I believe. I believe we actually lost our history, and they rewrote our history in exact the way it happened and just renamed everybody. That's what I believe. Now, that's what I believe. Man, y'all mean to tell me not been showing this stuff? I ain't been showing this stuff.
Huh? This is where it all came from. This is the true worshipful grand master that stood in the northeast corner where you are right now to get the light, where the light of the world came from. This is where the Pythagorean order came from. So we got all kinds of levels we're going to be dealing with here. But this is where it came from. And that's why they put this symbol on the dollar bill.
On the dollar.
Where the light of the knowledge came from.
No wonder why they would put it on the dollar.
Where you are, brothers and sisters.
Because Lucifer all about the mighty dollar. And every symbol, check this out. And look how we so lost that we would actually buy Gucci, Louis Vuitton, luxury cars, name brand clothes, shoes, jewelry, accessories, TV, equipment. All of this and spend bread on this shit, bruh. Look.
This is what you saw up on that hill. Why were they using these symbols? Now you understand why we were not allowed to deal with Kemet.
So look, what if Trey Gang say, hey, I believe when Satan came down here, he spread the light amongst his people that he created. And once they, you know what I'm saying, created his people, he gave these people power to be advanced than any other race. Guess what they had to do? Settle on their land. You gotta give something to get something. And you got Freemasonry, and they was all witness how the pyramid was built. That's why you see white men's. There's pharaohs. Ain't that crazy? No, Trey Gang, they was black. Yeah, they was black too. You let a black man, like, look, I will make you king and a pharaoh if you will take my daughter and get the royal bloodline. And that's how you become royalty. Like, yep, that's how you become royalty. That's why you got a royal bloodline. Damn. I guess it. So that means Lucifer brought this down here. And every time when they show you, it's going to be in a circle. It's going to be in the circle. You're going to have a pyramid in the circle. This the sun. This the pyramid. Lucifer brought this down here and say, this how you build this shit. And goddamn it, they're just amazed. That's all I'm saying. I ain't said this. This is what the research said. This is what these people telling you.
We must take the key and unlock the sacred knowledge is what we're doing here.
Right.
But brothers and sisters, we come back to grab you with the Grand Master's grip. To bring you up to the living perpendicular to who we are as an African people. That's what we're trying to do here, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's see if we can find some Mararukas in here. But Shaka Musa Ba Shango, why don't you come on up here for a minute, brother? Come on up. No, hold up, bro. Wait, hold it, bro. Hold your thought for a minute. Just hold your thought. Walk on up there, brother. Up here to this top. Walk on up there, brother. Turn around and no, turn around. Put your left foot forward. Now, who does Mararuka look like? It's Shaka Musa Ba Shango. Look at that. Look at that. Spirit's still going on. Brother got the same jaw structure. Everything.
But you know what though? This is why I look at it. I look at it this like the rap in the music in the movie game. It was just these people sold their souls to the devil. And that's how they lost their history. Because you sold your soul. Now guess who in power when you like, boom. That's the way I look at it now, bro. All because the Freemasonry got a new world order and I see it taking over. That's what I see when it comes to the new world order. Because Jesus will be already dead.
There you go. Still got us. Well, he got his intact. They knocked Mararukas off. Take your picture now.
So hold this one. Hold this one.
The power. Yeah, the power. Yeah, the power.
Light power.
There he is. There he is, right there. Mararuka. All right. All right. The most powerful clothing that the Grand Masters, the Son of Light, could put on their bodies was what is called the wasket, the collar, as you see him wearing right here. You see Mararuka. You see where the Grand Master's grip of the lion's paw. See the lion's paw on Mararuka? You see the paws right there? For those that may be in masonry, when you know in the 3rd degree, the Grand Master's grip of the lion's paw was supposedly when Solomon grabbed Hiram and raised him up But look at the, now keep in mind that Mayor Ruka was the Grand Masters. Look at the Grand Master's grip of the lion's paw. Look at the lion's paw right there. See on his garment right there? His collar. This is where the origin of the Grand Master's grip of.
So I went crazy when I was skipping over the Masonic Bible. It was teaching about a handshake. It was basically saying that the lion grip paw, when they go to the lion's den, he gave him the handshake and rebirthed him. Like, I don't know how to explain it, like, but that's free Masonic shit. But the way, and this in the Old Testament, and I said, man, look, I read the Masonic Bible, and the whole 12 tribes of Israel were Freemasonry. No, Trey Gang, you wrong. Go look it up. Whole tribe were Freemasonry. Tubal Cain built the tube. That's how they started in Babylon, building the Tower of Babylon. God knocked it down, so they started building the pyramid. Boom. Before that, they were trying to wipe out the world. All right. Watch this. That's why he got assassinated. Everything was cool till he went to Iran, where Abraham was, and actually saw, wait a minute, this is what's going on. Let me go back to America. And next thing you know, that's why he talked to the white man like that, because he hip to the scam. Now I know that you got to assassinate that man. You done let this black man went over there, Africa. You let this man go to Africa, Jamaica, Israel. You let that man go over there, and that man saw. When that man went over there, right? You don't think that man had a whole life experience? Like, what the fuck? I actually went to the pyramids and seen it for myself. And the whole time I found out this was the mystery school. This where they meet up at the temple. The pyramid. Now, Trey Gang, you lying. The pyramid. Oh, no, this all is Satan. Lined it up with the star, built the pyramid. This is why they chose that location. If you standing on the roof and drop a basketball, and you know where it's gonna land at, right? All right then. Say no more. You can even go read the book of Acts. They said Jesus went world. Then the Bible said Jesus was missing when he was a teen. He went in Egypt for 13 years, and then when he came out, he was 33. So that means Jesus went to the pyramid, came back. Look, and tried to tell Israel where Satan at. Man, I am the Son of God, and y'all get misled. Satan is true, and they had to crucify him. Makes sense to me. Make a whole lot of sense to me. Let me go to my playlist and play this shit. When Jesus died. For the Christians out there right now that's listening for me, when Jesus died, they told you he was born on December the 25th. Give me the month, the dates, and the time when Jesus died. Right now. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask Google. Let me ask Google right quick. What month and year Jesus Christ died?
Jesus Christ is widely believed to have died on April 3rd in the year 33 AD. This date aligns with historical records, including the reign of Pontius Pilate, and astronomical events like a lunar eclipse.
So what if I tell y'all that's the reason why you got April Fool's Day? Because I looked at all the holidays and I'm like, that's why they got April Fool's Day? Nobody don't know what April Fool's is. They know it's to pull a prank on everybody. Yeah. This is crazy to me. Now, Trey Gang, you wrong. I'm wrong when Google say this here. Look, Google said Jesus supposed to been died Friday. Ooh, if he was dead, didn't he raised on a Sunday? Holy shit. What? Jesus' death is Friday, April 3rd of AD. Knew what was going on 3 days before. Remember the story in the wilderness when they would chase him, you know what I'm mm-hmm. Go look who on Google. That's I got it in my life. It was a big famous YouTuber met the person that came up with the internet. Right? And said, yeah, Google my name. He said, Google my name. You the reason why you famous. I'm the reason why you famous. Because if I didn't create nobody would have never known about you. You on my platform. You get the average. I'm like, what? What did Trey Gang say? Jesus died on April the 3rd. Go to April Fool's Day. Right? Three days before they crucified. Mm-hmm.
It's back, place of the skull.
Hold on, y'all. Skull of Adam.
According to fandom.com, Adam Sackler is a character on Girls. He is portrayed by actor Adam Driver. A skilled actor, he tends to be brooding and misanthropic but also wise and passionate.
Adam Skull.
I pulled up some images for you.
Hold on, y'all. Let me see what I got going on. What a Wikipedia. He said, what now? It's gonna be world. Let me hit this John. See what's going on. That ain't what I want. Adam Skull is significantly depicted at the foot of the cross where Jesus was crucified. Now, let me let y'all read this. It say the skull of Adam, right, was depicted at the foot of the cross where Jesus was crucified. So they crucified Jesus on the grave site. So they said, boom, the blood was shed by Jesus directly to anoint sin of Adam. That makes sense. That makes sense that Jesus came to save us then. And fulfillment of the promise in 3:15 where God promised a redeemer to. Oh yeah. It makes sense to me. Then they depicting these people like in their own image. So Adam, so if where is Adam tomb located? Hold on, I know what I finna. I know what I'm finna do. Hold up. Hold on. Where is Adam buried at?
According to Wikipedia, Adam Nicholas Barrett is an English former professional footballer who played as a central
I
defender.
don't give a fuck about none of this. They said Adam is buried at where? Hold on, let me go to it. Hold on. Like what I said, right here. Golly. Right here. Check this out. Look at all these people that have witnessed this shit, right? Be right back and let me go to this. Where was Jesus crucified at?
According to biblicalarchaeology.org, Golgotha, where Jesus was crucified, and his adjacent tomb were the subject of intense debate in the 19th century. Orthodox and Catholic Christians contended that their location in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was authentic.
Oh shit, in the place of skulls? Hold on. I gotta show y'all this shit here. Look. They said this where he was crucified at. Hold on, wait. Right here. We know in Jerusalem. And we know that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Everything will be matching up then. Crucifixion. And this at the right here. This is where he arrived at. This is where they did the crucifixion at. Right here. Church of the Holy Scepter. Go to it. Yeah. Leave. This the altar, and then they put that man on top. This is like if Chad Bundy was out here doing what he was doing, why would you crucify Ted Bundy and then praise him? You see what I'm saying? This just showed me an image that when that man came, they knew exactly who he was. And that's why they hung him. That's why his death is so special, bro. And then you got this man on all over the synagogue. Look. Damn, no wonder why Miss Teresa know what's going on when she was sharing all that stuff on her Facebook page. That's so crazy, bro. Whip the man. All because he said the truth. Right? And this is going to be in the first century. So that means Jesus died 2,000 years ago, bro. Just 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ain't long. All right. Watch this. They go to Garden Tomb. Garden Tomb is the tomb of Christ. Hebrew. See those Hebrews? Them goddamn Hebrews. Look. They carved out the rocks, right? Put out the rocks of the tomb and surrounded by the guard right outside the walls. Ancient Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? The Christian who? All right. Once you go to the cut rock tomb of the Lord. Whoa! Everything look like it's going to match up a little bit. Man, you know, I need to read this. I need to read this. Skull Hill identified as the... Oh, shit. Skull Hill seen in the 1900s in the north walls of the old Jerusalem city. That's what it looked like from the 1900s. All right. Boom. It makes sense to me. But that's what Adam gonna be born there. That's where you finna get all King Solomon temples. You finna get. Look, watch this, y'all. Let's go to it. Oh, look. I be looking at stuff like this. I be looking at stuff like this. On the mouth. Look. Hold on. All right. I be fascinated. And you know what? Look at all the witnesses that will know this. They're just like in our day, fun. Jesus will be going viral in their time because everybody gonna hear about the good news. And guess what they did? They started killing all the Christians that followed Jesus. And they were doing this shit for hundreds of years. So they decided, nah, don't kill no more Christians. Look. Let me go to my playlist. Wait a minute. Did I just do what I think I did?
.440 hertz is the music industry standard. They know that that particular frequency disrupts DNA. Once that was discovered, they transferred everything into 440 hertz. It used to be 432. They've learned that they can manipulate the human mind. They can consistently hit you with the same cymatic statements. In other words, words over and over and over again. This is why if you tune into many different news stations, when there's some type of occurrence going on, where every news station will say the same exact thing, and this script that they're reading is for entrainment programming, to entrain us into fear.
And agenda controlling exactly what people think. And this is extremely...
There was a black man that was considered the African multi-genius by the name of Imhotep. Lived 2,000 years before Hippocrates put down his hypocrisy and claimed that he fathered medicine and philosophy. Imhotep was the original doctor. Imhotep was the original architect. He designed the first step pyramid of Saqqara out of his own mind. Imhotep was a master builder. Imhotep was a scholar. He was a scientist. Imhotep was the father of philosophy. So not only did he know how to build outside, but he knew how to build people from the inside. Whenever the white man came with the study of the molecular composition and the atomic origin of all matter and energy, he called it chemistry.
We are taught, for example, to regard Gaddafi in a certain way. But if you look into what happened in his country while he was the leader, you look into the fact that every person is given a house at a certain age. You look at the fact that everybody's education and health care is free. If somebody showed a particular talent for something that required further education overseas, all of the costs of that were paid for by the government. These are all...
Damn, white American didn't do what he did. Now you finna see why American killed him.
all things put in place by the same country's leader that we're told is evil and corrupt. It doesn't quite balance.
That is one that we definitely monkeyed with. He ran afoul of the United States government.
What he was trying to do, as far as I understand the situation, is he was trying to unite Africa. And a united Africa, either it's going to be fantastic.
Problem for the people that want to run things.
It's got a whole bunch of countries that, have a connection with a certain African nation or whatever. They suck their minerals out of the ground or whatever, don't pay them properly for it, and greatly benefit financially. And that's pretty much every European country. I don't want to get into politics. My boys have this rule. If you're going to talk to Joe, you're not allowed to discuss politics.
Disappear for a month. On Monday, February 16,
We're starting the Chair Tai Chi Challenge for men over 60. Just 7 minutes a day to boost your senior energy. Get your printable.
We continue to monitor the home of Nancy Guthrie. All right, here with more analysis.
In moments, we'll hear from former FBI Special Agent Stuart Kaplan.
Picture this. It's ridiculous. It's like a white ball that bounces across, and you have a straight
two
line.
paddles, yep.
That's a paddle, and it's the dumbest game that you could.
Jesus of Nazareth was the same way, right? Never wrote anything. I thought he was a carpenter. He was a carpenter. Didn't he need like a little carpenter's tool? I don't get it. I thought he was Jesus of Nazareth was the same way, right? Never wrote anything. I thought he was a carpenter. He was a carpenter. Didn't he need like a little carpenter's tool? I don't get that.
Ooh, now he's getting Talmudic with it. This is what Ben Shapiro said on Joe Rogan. Ben Shapiro was like, Jesus was a scammer.
We don't believe in the divinity of Christ.
He was just a prophet. And
No. We don't even believe he was a prophet.
What do you think he was?
I think he was a Jew who tried to lead a revolt against the Romans and got killed for his trouble.
He pretended like he had miracles and he was just a carpenter and he was, you say Jesus' name around and they start seething.
Leslie's rip.
Evil laugh, man.
I'm going to prove to you right now how Satan disguises as an angel of light. Look at that normal oatmeal, right? Yummy. Strawberries and cream. Well, hold up. Watch, but you got to look closely. Look, if you move in closely, you'll see something insane. Look at this. You'll see this.
We used to keep these instant oatmeals on deck, and I personally like the strawberries and cream the most. And then I started paying attention to the ingredients, and if you notice right here, you'll see natural flavor. When I learned what this is made out of in this, it blew my mind. Just check this out. Hold on 1 second.
And castoreum, typically called natural flavor, is taken from a beaver's anal gland. It's far cheaper to use castoreum, or beaver's butt, to flavor strawberry oatmeal.
That's what Satan be doing, y'all. That's what Satan be doing, y'all. We're just so oblivious. Dude, what? Beaver's butthole?
He's fake, it's Jover.
You are not ready for what I found in the Epstein files. Do you remember when I went on Dr. Phil and said that President Biden wasn't actually Biden and it was just someone in a face mask? Everybody laughed, including Dr. Phil.
But you think the president may not even be Joe Biden?
Yeah, I don't think that it probably is Joe Biden. If you look at Joe Biden from 10, 20 years ago and the Joe Biden now, I am not going to gaslight myself into believing that is the same person.
Let's read this email. Biden is not your current president. The mask malfunctions on Biden are getting worse each day on purpose. This will end badly for blank, who is posing with a clone on Facebook. The dude playing Biden ain't Biden. Real Biden was an evil, sick, angry man who, that's an actor with a mask. We've been over this 1,000 times. It's never going to change. I guess I wasn't so crazy after all, but I'm just a conspiracy theorist.
Wow.
Jeffrey Epstein had a bank account which was called Baal, the ancient Canaanite deity who children were sacrificed to. The word pizza is used over 900 times in Epstein's various emails. And mind you, the FBI has actually for a long time now released that words like pizza, there's a little graph here, actually are code words for predators for things like boy, girl, little boy. So we have this we have this woman who sends a photo of her baby to Epstein and says, your generosity has no limits, after receiving an unbelievable sum in her bank account and that she's never seen. We have an email from someone to Jeffrey Epstein saying, I decided to sacrifice poor homosexuals. Oh my God. Prince Andrew hovering over a defenseless child on the floor. We have an email from Jeffrey Epstein to someone who is redacted saying, where are you? Are you okay? Loved the torture video.
You see this Mark Zuckerberg building his $270 million bunker?
If you have $1 billion, we have learned that you can do whatever you want to do. When Elon Musk wants to send things in space, he don't have to ask nobody's permission. Congress don't meet, Senate don't meet, no police department gotta be warned. He don't need a permit, none of that. If you got $1 billion, you do what you want to do, and then you tell them what you did. The people that are in power know that the people that are running the most complicated and deadliest things on the planet are just an average idiot. And you know lots of idiots.
I do.
Yep, and these people are not special. Back in the day they were.
Yeah.
Not today.
What do you know that we don't know, Cat?
30% of all weapons systems are running off regular Wi-Fi. That means if a solar flare or a meteor hits either one of those, literally a bomb can go off just because the system accidentally got turned off. Yeah, that's what he knows.
Now, I found out that the Greeks, who were supposed to have been the founders of civilization because they were the first civilized white folks, but the Greeks got their civilization from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians were black people. And the Greeks passed their civilization on to the Romans, and the Romans were a very stupid, dumb bunch of people for the most part. They couldn't retain it, they lost it. They had a dark age in Europe for 500 years. And then another bunch of Africans, the Moors, from North Africa, into Spain and started civilization all over again. So instead of Europe civilizing Africa, Africa has civilized Europe 2 times. That's what you have to keep in mind.
This might be one of the biggest mysteries in the entire human civilization record.
The world before the flood had this crystal canopy overhead that would block out UV light, increase air pressure, and it wouldn't rain. It says in 2 Peter 3, the scoffers at the end of time would be ignorant of how God made the earth and the heavens, and how the earth was out of the water and in the water. Then this says they're also ignorant, willingly ignorant, of the flood. The world was destroyed by that water that drowned everybody, and they're ignorant of the coming judgment of God. So the original earth, they had a crystal canopy overhead that increased air pressure. If you squeezed all the air today, which goes out, say, 50 miles, squeeze it down to 10 miles. Breathing is easier. Flying is easier because the air is thicker. They find fossils of giant things that fly, like 50-foot pterodactyl. They couldn't fly today. 2-foot grasshoppers have been found. 50-inch dragonflies. They couldn't fly today. The air's too thin.
Yo, look at the timing of this. Look, Edo Bowl projection. Right before the Super Bowl, a Edo Bowl projection was spotted in downtown Las Vegas, right? Of how many times these people were mentioned. Donald Trump has a fascinating and whopping amount of 5,300 mentions. Imagine how many things were redacted.
Damn, you just said something. Do we even have a vice president? I ain't even noticed that. Who the vice president? That's crazy. I'm glad y'all, know what I'm saying, thinking like the way I'm thinking.
Bro. Prince Andrew, Peter Thiel, Howard Lutnick. Think about who run the Super Bowl. What the Super Bowl is, one big rich.
There's a video of
hearings?
Yes.
These documents in FBI possession, your possession, detail at least 20 men, including Mr. Jess Staley, CEO of Barclays Bank, who Jeffrey Epstein trafficked victims to. Have you reviewed those 302 documents where the victims name the people who victimized them?
If I personally know, but the FBI has.
So how can you sit here and in front of the Senate and say there are no names?
I said
I named one today. That list also includes at least 19 other individuals, one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, one royal prince, one high-profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, at least 6 billionaires, including a billionaire from Canada. We know these people exist in the FBI files.
144,000 will go to heaven. 144 adds up to 9. The 9th letter in the English alphabet is I. God's name Yahweh means I am. This is our body. I is our consciousness.
That's what happened when Lucifer set it down and give you the light. And Lucifer could break this down like this the truth. This the consciousness and giving you the light, actually for real. Schooling you. Just to manipulate you. So all of this is satanic, but we taking this shit as like, damn man, this shit deep and you know what I'm saying? Look.
9 is the number of consciousness. Let's take it deeper. A lamb standing on Mount Zion. The lamb represents Aries. Aries rules the head. and this is the lamb horns in our brain. Holy Mount Zion is our spine. The lamb is on top of Mount Zion with the 144,000, which is 9, which is consciousness. And they had the Father's name written on their forehead. Our forehead is where our consciousness is. 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth represent the ones who found their consciousness. 144,000 sang a new song. New song is a new state of awakened consciousness. Stairway to heaven is our spinal cord, Mount Zion. We need to meet the Lamb of God. Sing a new...
I won't even be surprised if the Bible is really teaching us how to go to hell with Satan. And Jesus came here to save us from that shit. Because everything Moses taught us, the 12 tribes Israel taught us, all that shit came from Satan. And I didn't even say this. Google said that. Don't blame me. If you search it, you can't say Trey Gang didn't make it up. He just told what he saw on the internet. That's all. I ain't saying this shit real or fake. All I'm just saying, bro, if you do your research and you say you love Jesus, bro, you will read your Bible again. Cause if you don't complain about where you want and where you're gonna end up at. Cause there's no more excuses.
New song, awaken to your consciousness, not your body. Heaven is a state of consciousness. This book will literally tell you everything.
He died 5 days later. Rapper Coolio exposed vampires drinking adrenochrome.
Yo, what's up? This Coolio.
But Trey Gang was bringing the adrenochrome back in the Kanika Jenkins case. Cause a lady reached out to me and told me she was a famous actor and she gonna remain anonymous and said she was there that night. And they drunk some blood with adrenochrome in it. That's what the lady told me. And 54 Keys was the first YouTuber mentioning adrenochrome. I heard of it because of the movies, but I ain't know what adrenochrome would actually would. I thought it was just some super juice. You know what I'm saying? Some super juice, like, yeah. But I didn't know it was blood. So that's why you got movies. If you can't comprehend right now when you see vampire movies, they got veins like snakes. You know what a vampire look like, right? And a vampire want to drink blood. It's because the victim, if you scare your victim, this ain't like the average nigga that don't know nothing about none of that stuff. He would kill a man for another reason. Another man would kill another man with like, I got to put him in fear, torture him, scare him there, build his life to make that adrenochrome, build up that adrenaline rush. And that's when you want to kill that person. Cause that blood, think about like high blood pressure. Like, I don't want to sound crazy, but I'm just thinking at the point. If you a blood drinker, would you want to drink low blood pressure? Or you want the good shit, the high blood pressure at that time? Like, yeah, you don't want no, it's like a Coca-Cola. You want the junk with the acid in it, that when you hit that junk, you want to feel that burn in the back of that throat. Or you, cause nobody don't like when that Coca-Cola go flat. That's what I'm just saying. All right. This my playlist. And I saved it for y'all, bro. Cause all of this is dealing with, this is what Kanika showed me. The world is a stage. That's why you got rappers out here today making music, throwing everybody off so you won't actually see what's really going on in the real world. That's all. It's so much violence and crime, bro. You don't want no murder to be going viral all the time. Throw a rap song in there so when the murder go viral, boom, is people gonna, you know what I'm saying, click on it, but you'll have rappers beefing, and then you got Hollywood got some type of drama going on, so that's gonna drown that little viral moment out. You see what I'm saying? Then everybody been finna be focused on what Hollywood talking about. That's what I'm saying. Look.
With the flow, and I'm gonna do something for the first time. When something is obviously wrong, then why would you argue about it? Okay? Now y'all can go head on, go home and drink your Angelchrome. You suck mother. I'm cool on that.
Angel Chrome. He also goes on to express feelings of frustration for being ridiculed by people close to you who display cognitive dissonance and shoot down any conversation you want to have with them on this very serious issue. That's insane.
It's about time that some humanity understands pure demonic evil truly exists, and it's in your society, and it's your politicians, left, right, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, all of them. They're not your heroes. They're not your heroes. You're rock stars. You're not your heroes. You're athletes, the owners. You're not your heroes. You're just getting the tip of an iceberg, and I'm not sure if some of you are ready for what's about to come.
What's up, y'all? It's Miss Feed Me reporting live again. I already did.
This is a very old German Bible. There's a verse missing or something that we're going to use to answer a question. 1878 print. I've had a number of people email me asking about Matthew chapter 17, verse 21. Everybody's saying that Matthew 17, 21 skips right to 22, and it's supposed to tell you about curing all sickness and disease. So what I have is 3 different translations from 3 different times here, and we're going to see if we can find it. Christopher in Florida found this at a yard sale, bought it, and sent it to me. This is an 1878 print. This Bible here was given to me by a 33-degree Freemason. This is an Aramaic translation, which is very important because Jesus did not speak Greek. That was the language of the oppressors. This is a 1957 copy from the 1933 print. This is a Sefer, another Aramaic translation that was given to me by Ashley, a Facebook follower. This is a 2013 print, but also from the Aramaic text. I'm going to save the best for last. 1933 print. Nevertheless, this kind does not come out except by fasting and prayer. Straight to Galilee. This one contains the Apocrypha as well. This kind goes not out but by prayer and fasting. Then they went to Galilee. Sounds like the same translation. Good Lord Almighty. That's what we saw at Whitney's Freemason build. What? I don't know anything about the Freemasons, but maybe we can find out. Pretty sure that's...
Check this out. Trey ain't trying to tell, hey, Freemasonry in the Bible, because I actually got my hand on the Freemasonic Bible. He just said the same thing by researching shit. Researching shit, bruh. Look, watch this. The Bible, 3 languages, 1 verse missing.
False. In all the other ones, 21 is speaking of prayer and fasting, but here it's in verse 20. 19 is faith of a mustard seed, and then 20 is prayer and fasting. That's different. That is different. 21 says, while they were staying in Galilee, the Son of Man will be delivered to them. That's in 22 here. There's a verse missing or something, and I don't know where it is. 21 here is Galilee. 22 here is Galilee. 22 is Galilee, and 21 is Galilee. They were right. There's a missing verse in Matthew that talks about healing all of your sickness. Look at these translations over the years. Something has been twisted and moved, just like we all know. But where is it?
Defense had quietly restarted a similar organization tracking what we now call unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs. UAPs are unexplained.
It's crazy that I could go right back to Egypt and show y'all the same shit that the United States got. The monument, all this, what right here? Hold on. Is it this, John?
Because even I saw Charlemagne, he was saying something about the Epstein files because Jay-Z is in the Epstein files. Let's go down that rabbit hole real quick.
Yeah.
It's true, but they are real. They need to be investigated, and many threats they pose need to be mitigated.
The Pentagon sent 2 high-level officers, Deputy Director of Navy Intelligence Scott Bray and Undersecretary of Defense Ronald Moultrie, to a Congress far better informed than prior intelligence officials had faced in the past.
There is something there, measurable by multiple instruments, and yet it seems to move in directions that are inconsistent with what we know of physics or science more broadly.
So when I look at this, when they talk about they counter in UFOs, I look at it like this here. Good and evil battling itself out right now. You got the bad telling everybody, hey, what about the UFO cover? They don't want to give you what they discover about the UFOs and all of this. And then you got these people questioning these people, bro, because they know what's up with the Bible, bro. What if Trey ain't telling y'all, like, damn, if these people been communicating with fallen angels for hundreds and hundreds of years? Look, cause on one of those plane crash sites, just imagine you in the hood in the UFO crash and Snoop jump out that motherfucker. You gonna be like, what the fuck? You see Snoop, get what Snoop tell you. Man, you know I can't hear it. Man, you ready to go back with Snoop? Like, damn, Snoop, man, you will keep that man a secret like shit. I'm just saying, that's how I see the world, bro. It's the same thing in the book of Genesis. When the angels came to meet up with Lot, and the city seemed like, damn, who are these men coming to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, they some handsome men. We want these men. And Lot like, no, I got daughter. Take my daughter. Don't take the angels. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the public people seeing this shit and questioning these people like, yeah, we heard and we got witness and everything. These people like, nah, we ain't got, I don't know what y'all talking about. Look.
Do we have an example of an object that can't be explained as having been human-made or natural?
The example that I would say that that is still unresolved, that I think everyone understands quite well, is the 2004 incident from Nimitz.
200 miles off the coast of San Diego, the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group encountered an unknown object described as a tic-tac that flew rings around 2 of the Navy's best frontline fighters.
The ability to hover over the water and then start a vertical climb from basically 0 up towards about 12,000 feet, and then...
So, I won't be wrong if I say, hey, when God in the Bible and told the 12 tribes of Israel, He gonna give them weapons, knowledge, power over the whole world. The Bible literally told the world, like, hey, God said I can run the world. He coming back, but right now, I'm running shit. I don't see somebody name one African plane, African jet fighter. Now, I seen the African Army, but I ain't seen no tanks, no military boats. I ain't never saw that. Have y'all? Let me know. I never, you know what I'm saying? I done seen the Russian military with planes, tanks, China with boats and fighter jet. I ain't never seen no African military with missiles and tanks. I ain't never seen that. I didn't. Did you? Nobody can't say they saw that. Because if I ain't see it, you didn't see it. So make a long story short, look who in charge.
Accelerate in less than 2 seconds and disappear is something I had never seen in my life.
They got control over the world. Look how they look, flying between the clouds. Man, these folk got access to nuclear warfare, you know what I'm saying? And man, the military is not to play with, bro. Yeah, I know they got military. You know, every country got a military. I just didn't never seen no African plane. That Africa got a military. I never seen a tank, an African tank. I never seen an African jet fighter. I never heard nothing about an African pilot. That's what I'm saying. Damn, they ain't showing this stuff. Oh, they ain't even showing this.
I'm always trying to search out a new way to start since it's a whole new world.
Now watch this. Here go Roseanne Barr right here. Damn, man, these people didn't even want me to show the movie thing. That's crazy. Now here go Roseanne Barr right here, right? Listen what she said.
World now, but greetings, Earthlings. That really says it. Greetings, Earthlings and souls. People who have souls. I'm glad you're here. There's not a lot of you. For instance, Kim Kardashian and them, they have 70-some million followers, and I have just over 500,000, which is astounding. And I'm talking about YouTube. I got a lot of followers on other platforms, right, Jake?
Yeah, you do pretty well.
I do pretty good for being an old hag.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're in your 70s. You're probably the #1 post Social Security retiree age, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think I am the most popular Social Security recipient podcaster.
I believe
I'm going to claim I'm radio. Welcome to the Roseanne. I've been gone for a long time. You said I have hardly hung out with you, your family, and the grandkids for 5 months.
Well, we left Texas in October, and then we only...
You got to go to this event, that event. People who used to, I don't know what it is, but I know I just almost about, well, first when I got to LA, I got the flu, which everybody's got now, right? And your kids and you guys just had it.
I'm still recovering, and I hope I didn't get you sick again. It's horrible.
Oh, I'm sure you did get me sick again.
Oh, I apologize.
As soon as I walked in the house and heard everybody coughing, I'm like, oh, Christ, I shouldn't have left Florida for another week.
Yeah, but you said Rob was sick in Florida. Weeks done. How got to be a bird flu. I don't know if you know that. I got it in Hawaii. Yeah. That's the camera, and all of a sudden, I just kind of we were taking. I probably flew out.
Because she put out a thing today that the mRNA vaccine is actually a way to transfer energy from using 5G from human to human. So it's a vampire energy shot.
I've heard this. Yeah.
You have? You've heard that one before?
Yeah, 5G was going to activate it. This was during COVID. I remember this conspiracy theory.
So it wasn't just a shit shot that makes you get cancer and AIDS. It's turning into what, a human telephone pole?
Yeah, well, I mean that's the theory, that you get the spike proteins, and then when the 5G goes on, it activates whatever in your body, and all hell breaks loose. I don't know how true it is, but I never got the shot, so I don't think that's what I have.
These people that are doing this kind of stuff, the way they think of the humans, you know, the Earthlings. You know, the way they think about the Earthlings, it's some really sick shit. They don't.
Now, it's funny why she said what they think about the Earthling referred to these people like, damn, y'all the devils, the real fallen angels. Listen to what she finna say.
Consider themselves to be human. I mean, if you break it down, They don't think they are human. Otherwise, they wouldn't come up with bioweapons to make people really sick and kill them off. Humans don't do shit like that. They're not human. Humans don't do stuff like that. A human being tries to help people around it.
Well, that's true. Also, if it's you're engineering a bioweapon, like if you're vulnerable yourself as a human, so you wouldn't want to put that out there. That's why we don't do warfare, biowarfare, because it's like, oh, if I throw this to Russia, they'll throw it back. Well, I'll die. Mustard gas, all that shit kills you too. So for someone to make this shit in the lab means either they're not human.
That's my point. I don't think they are human.
Because they're not worried about getting it.
No, I don't think they are human. I think they have a whole other DNA as Earthlings.
It might be, or not to be a big nerd, but
So only thing was she telling the world because she been in the game. So she basically telling you the world, these people not human. She know who they is, and it's some fucked up shit.
back 20 years ago, you remember this. Whenever anyone got sick, the first thing they did is they said, "Go get antibiotics. Go get antibiotics. Get a Z-Pack. Get antibiotics."
Right.
And what ended up happening was they started overprescribing antibiotics for everything.
Yeah.
And viruses mutate.
Now they don't work.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a game. All of even COVID, like the body, the immune system, it's a constant war. It's a chess game between us and nature. So what they did is they just blew out everybody's antibodies, the antibiotics. So you got sick from everything. And then the viruses mutated and they became deadly. And I know.
I knew I should call and say, are the girls coughing? Is anybody sick? Because it hits me hard. Could your health issues be caused by an invisible stressor in our food, water, and our Oh my God, I can't get sick again because when I first flew to LA, which was 4 months ago?
Yeah, you did get really
I
sick.
got so sick. And I had just got cocky because I had flown 4 times and not got sick. First, it was every time I flew, I'd get something, because it's just stale farts. The whole airplane is made up of stale farts,
Right.
which are really just shit in gaseous form. So you're flying in a tin can full of shit particles and inhaling them for 6-7 hours. So of course you're going to get sick. And then everyone's on there got the bird flu like you did when you
Yeah.
carelessly flew back from Hawaii. When you're sick, you should stay the fuck off an airplane because that's you're putting that on old people and babies and shit. But people don't give a fuck.
Did you see with that USAID raid that Chelsea Clinton got like $58 million or something, that the wedding that Ghislaine Maxwell attended? And a lot of it was through Haiti. We always talk about Haiti and what happened.
Listen, my hashtag, and I was, because I got it from God, and I was like, it's going to take 20 years for people to get this. But it's far less than 20 years. It's only 14 years. Pedo, Ponzi, pirate,
Yeah.
priest class. And that is what it is. And it's like, it's always proven, and I sound less crazy because that is exactly what it is.
You've sounded a lot less crazy over the last 5 years.
I
That
know,
must
isn't
feel
it
good.
great?
Does that feel good? I gotta ask you.
Uh,
Because it's starting to happen to me too, where people like stuff I said, where people told me it's crazy. It's starting to be.
Hold
proven
on, watch
true.
this,
It feels
y'all.
good for me, but I
Hold
felt
on, let me
myself as
find that
probably a little
part.
bit
Hold
more
on.
egotistical.
yes, we get it.
Fucking-
When I say Democrat baby blood,
Yeah.
baby blood drinking Democrat donors, they all say,
Here we go. Right
let's
here.
see how long it takes them to get it.
Right, and then when they get it, you just feel like, oh, good, I did my job as a messenger. You don't feel like fucking told you so.
No, I feel like good, they got it, and then I'm like, wait till they catch up with the last 50 I laid, and they're still calling them crazy.
Well,
When I say Democrat baby blood drinking Democrat donors, they all go, oh Christ, here she goes. But it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. And when that one's proven, which I think will be in the next year, then they're going to go, God, Roseanne. And then the best one is, my friend Joel Gilbert, who I met through my friend Mel K.
Yeah,
And I do want to take a little bit of a minute to
she's
talk
coming
about.
on too.
Yeah, but she's my dear friend. And she's written this great book, Americans Anonymous, based on the 12 steps of AA, about how we are drugged, and we've got to get sober from bullshit. And this is a 12-step program about how we can retake control of our lives, our souls, and our minds. This is an excellent book, and it's very well written, and everybody should read it, because it's like, as any addicts of, we're addicted to bullshit because of the media feeds it to us. But, it's no different than being addicted to cocaine or, alcohol or anything else. Everything you do is to protect your addiction. Well, you've got to drop that and ask God to step in and help you face reality and what's real. And that's what Americans need to do. And I think that's why they voted for Trump, because that was the first knowledge of, like, I am powerless over my life. So I've got to vote for Trump. And that happened.
Yeah, I think that's, well, first of all, Mel K is a genius. She's been on this show.
She is a genius.
And I highly recommend checking her out on Timcast, Tim Pool's show a couple of weeks ago about USAID, because
she's been saying it for 10 years, like I've been saying. USAID that she's been talking about is the same thing as me saying pedo, Ponzi,
absolutely,
pirate priest class. It's the very same thing.
Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes
This is what
free
she
in the
said.
app
They
if you
eat
didn't file
babies,
with us
bro.
last year.
Okay, just for people with the baby eating thing, can we just clear this up once and for all?
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably going to get mad at me, because I was big into Pizzagate. I totally believe that they eat babies. I'm not saying they don't, but I've never seen a baby being eaten. I just want to be clear. Have you ever seen a baby being eaten? You've heard about it. Like, you've never been at a party where they're like eating a baby.
I have never personally seen.
Right.
But I have, because I have mental disorders.
Yeah, people have talked to you.
A through Z.
Yeah, you've got them all.
And I've been hospitalized several times for dissociative identity disorder.
Right.
And in groups with people who also have it. And many of them, in fact, I would say the majority of them are survivors of satanic ritual abuse.
Right. So let's get to
it. All of them say they have seen their own babies sacrificed and eaten.
You're talking, when you're on Tucker with Stitch, because this is why people say you're crazy. You're talking about, you've actually talked to victims of this, family members of this.
All the victims of abuse come to me because they think of me as their mom. That's what I don't get why people don't get that.
No, I think people get that.
They do?
Absolutely. And you have talked to victims. You've been on this.
Boy, people hate their moms, don't they? Fucking people hate their moms. Think about that.
You should hate your mom. She's a bad mom, I think.
I agree.
And I think there's a lot of bad moms out there. But no, you're naturally inclined to love your mom. But anyway, that's a whole other podcast.
Well, that's what fucks you up, is when you love your abuser. That's what makes your mind break.
Absolutely.
So I think about all the people out there who have dissociative disorder and don't even know they got it.
Yeah.
But like clue number one is, hey, do you say one thing and then do another? You should think about that. I want you to think about that. Do you often say one thing and then do another? Not just another, but it's complete opposite. The opposite of what you just said you believe and testified in front of people, this is your belief. Then you leave the stage and do the exact opposite. You have multiple personality disorder because you've been abused. You've been sexually abused as a child. Let's stop lying about it.
I love it. I love that you do this, because you've been, I just want to say, and I'll hand the floor over, I like to give context.
But that's why they say I'm crazy, and they've always said I'm crazy.
But you've always talked about this,
They say every victim who comes forward is a liar and crazy.
That's how they keep
That's how they fucking shut you up. But you know what? There's so goddamn many of us, and don't get on me for saying goddamn, because you don't even know what you're talking about. It is goddamned.
Yeah. Anyone
and
have
I
a problem
have the
with that?
authority to say it as a Jewish Torah student I am 72 years old, and I've studied Torah since I was 3. So talk to the hand, bitch.
All right, so you've been talking about this pedophile elite pirate Ponzi thing for, as far as I can tell, MK Ultra for at least 35 years, right? 30 years?
Absolutely.
That goddamn Roseanne Barr, goddamn, I can hang with her ass and roll me one up, hold one up, talk your shit, boo. You know what I'm talking about? Flirting like a mother. Keep talking, Roseanne, boo. Hyping her ass up. Give me some more of that tea.
I used to make fun of you. Remember, I used to think you were crazy. So this is not. I just want to be really clear. A lot of people think.
Pedo, Ponzi,
Right.
pirate, priest class.
Let me just set the stage and I'll hand it over to you. A lot of
Okay.
people think you've gone crazy since you've left the left and became a Trump supporter. And now you're like, they eat babies. They don't understand the context of your career and life's work, children of the night, being, trying to protect kids from pedophiles. This is something you've been doing for 35 years. Even as a leftist, this was the biggest, probably the number one thing you've been behind.
It's the reason I left the left because
Right.
they're pro that shit.
Right.
They're
Thank
sexual
you.
libertines and they're hiding behind it, and that's who gives to the Democrat Party.
Take the
They're sexual libertines, and they were thrilled to get Ruth Bader Ginsburg in there, one of their fake, I'm sorry, yeah, whatever. She looked right. She looked the part. That's what they're looking for. You got to look the part in order to fuck with the people and take away their rights and bullshit them. But her one of the things she advocated for was lowering the age of consent of children having sex. She wanted to lower it beneath the age of 12.
I've never heard
They've had this agenda forever. It's a Marxist thing. The Marxists are sexual libertines. That's what
Satanists.
Luciferianism is. It means you can fuck whoever, whenever, and it's all male. The women can't. The women think they can fuck everybody.
Yeah.
And they go try, but they end up with the babies and then no money from the guy. I mean, it is a total male bullshit society of sexual libertines, males,
Right.
who decided to try to further degrade and humiliate women as if they ain't done enough.
And children.
Well, that's their goal, is to get at the children. They just want to be around the kids' sex organs a lot.
When you were a leftist, it was
They
fair
want to experiment on them and do
Absolutely.
Nazi science on them and
Wasn't
take the flesh off their forearms and sew it into their groin. Oh,
Y'all remember when I used to tell y'all about when the Kanika Jigga case? I used to be like, man, y'all know they be eating hands and foot. Got everybody rolling in that joint. I honestly believe Miss Teresa eat foots. I can see Miss Teresa right now at the bar right now at the foot shop. Yeah, may I take your order? Yeah, can I get me a 6-piece toast and a side of fingertips? Yeah, you got some you got some foot. You ain't got no ankles in there? Damn, they ain't got no ankles. But let me get the foot package deal with the 2 toes menu, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, what you want, some drink? Yeah, let me get a large cup of Adrenochrome, you know what I'm talking about? Angel juice. Yeah, that'd be $27.50, you know what I'm talking about? I can see Leonora in that motherfucker. How much y'all elbows? Shit, elbows $5. Shit, give me 2 elbows and you ain't got no knees in there? Nope. Damn, they ran out of knees, mama. And what else y'all got? We got some fingertips. You like those fingertips? I'm tired of fingertips. I can just see how it go now. I can just see they going to a restaurant, not a steakhouse, but Satan house. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, welcome to Satan Chop Shop. What you would like to have today? Yeah, let me get some double cheeks, please. What else you want? And yeah, can y'all throw some hands and foots in there too? You know what I'm talking about? How many hands you want? I need about, give me 2 hands. What you want, left or right? Give me left and the right, goddammit. That's fucked up. Look. I used to sit and joke about that shit, and I'm like, damn, cause in my investigation, I'm like, man, I won't even be surprised these people be eating humans and shit, bro. Drinking blood for real, and that's what they actually do. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my God, you're nothing but Nazis. Do you understand that? Do you understand what you're doing to children?
They do. When you were a leftist, it was fair to say
You
back
know
then
what?
the pedo. Oh,
You're not going to get away with it.
the pedo.
I'll tell you why, because I have the authority.
I was going to
And
say.
I'm going to tell you about my authority and where I get it. And I'm going to introduce you to a guy maybe you never met. I don't think you have met him, but his name is God. I'm going to introduce you to him.
Is it fair to say when you were a
And that lady's
leftist and you were
serious
against
too,
the pedo
bro.
cult that a lot of those pedos were tended to be more on the right, like the Vatican and the Christian? Remember, this is what you were kind of talking about 30 years ago. It seems like the pedos have, like everybody, like all the commies and evil people and the billionaires, have all sort of moved to the Democrat Party. Is that?
Man, I know you ain't said nothing about culture food. Remember, they said Knievel was found in the kosher kitchen. Hold on, what you say? If you eat McDonald's, you eat Herman meat. Man, bruh, you sure ain't lying. I try to tell the people, like, man, look, y'all better be careful eating that shit, cause that shit Herman meat, Putin, President Putin, he even said, man, America don't even know that all those restaurants that's over there is Herman meat. And I know he ain't lying, because if I go get a hamburger right now, man, that hamburger lasts forever. That hamburger outlive me with no moles on that joint. But if I go get a hamburger from the grocery store, like a ground beef, you know what I'm saying, the real ground beef, then you would see the difference. Because you would be like, damn, that meat be so rubbery. Man, you could actually bend the meat and it won't even break, bro. Next time you get it, man, you could bend the meat. Like it's a rubber band, like boom, you know what I'm saying? Then when you chew it, the flavor be busting, but it chew like rubber though. Like you really got to chew that because I know the ground beef what I eat when I buy it at the grocery store and actually cook and season my own and make my own burger. It don't do like no McDonald's burger. So every time, if you go to McDonald's right now, tell them folks you want to, yeah, can I get a Snoop Snoop special? Boy, them folks finna give you a special brown bag because they already know. You don't know who you gonna eat that day when you go to McDonald's. Tell me, yeah, can I get a double Whopper? A double Whopper? That's all? Yeah, you want to make it a combo? Yep. You just don't know. You done ate quick. I wish they start putting the faces on these burgers. Be like, yeah, you done ate little Snoop today. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, these is James Foots. Like, what y'all got back there on the grill? Shit, right now we got some James Foots on the grill. Ooh, I heard about those James Foot, them whole busting, yup. Is they fresh? Yeah. Then they give you how they set them up, give you the murder video, like this how we got them. Show you a murder video, like damn. Yeah, I want it. You know, Foots. This thing you know, you eating Herman, drinking blood, coming back to the hood like you don't know what's going on. Like, damn, where you been? Oh, nothing. I was out, doing my damn. Let me find out you was in the old woods eating Hermes and kids.
That's my theory. Do you see that? Because remember, it was the Vatican getting busted for child trafficking and child sex crimes, and now it's like Hollywood and P. Diddy and all this stuff. It seems like they just kind of moved on. They're like, we've already kind of taken over the right. Let's done. They don't like us anymore.
Well,
that's what I see. I'm just asking.
Well, then you're limited in your seeing, because what they're showing, what you're supposed to be seeing, is the interconnectedness of every single one of them. It's one big friggin' trafficking thing, and
that's the same thing I said about Kenneka Jenkins case. I said, y'all, I believe Kenneka Jenkins case is linked to high-profile figures like governments, presidents, senators, judges, police officers, all the way down to the goddamn maintenance man. It's a system. And I can see how the system ran. Chicago, Rosemont, Illinois, Crown Plaza ain't nothing but a storage facility with dead bodies in it. That's what I believe. They said when you walk in the Crown Plaza, that motherfucker smell like foots. They said it smell like a morgue in that motherfucker, bro. Then you got hotels across seas checking their room to see you would be poisoned and shit like in the gas chamber. Now, if I know H&H Holmes in the 1900s set up his air circulation to certain rooms to poison them with some type of nerve gas, whatever he was using, and these people would die, the people would die in the room, and he steal the body, cut them up, chop them up, package them up, and sell them. And nobody never heard them from again. And he was getting away with this shit all because the police helped him do it. The judges helped him get away with it. Lawyers, all of this shit, bruh. When it comes to the Kenneka Jenkins case, one thing I learned, usually when it comes to a murder case, you got a detective sign on the case. You got a prosecutor going to be signed. I mean, well, we ain't talking about trial yet. We talking about case still investigated. Man, you got a detective on the case, bro. Looking for a suspect. Right? Matter of fact, let me do it like this.
I highly recommend checking her out on Timcast, Tim Pool's show.
After the release of the Epstein files, what Roseanne Barr said suddenly doesn't sound so crazy anymore.
You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit. It's true. Everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood. They do, Tucker. Stop staring at me like that.
You're freaking me out, man.
So many kids that I was in mental institutions with over the years, they are all from those cults. And they've covered it all up.
Satanic symbolism in the Olympics?
How about that?
How about that?
Did y'all see Jeffrey Epstein's reaction when the name of Jesus was mentioned? Tell me this wasn't Satan manifesting through this man.
They spoke, and people around who could write wrote. Socrates could think. So that was...
Jesus of Nazareth was the same way, right? Never wrote anything.
I thought he was a carpenter.
He was a carpenter.
And didn't he need like a little carpenter's tonight? I don't want to get that.
But at least his written record.
Right.
One last thing.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
If you didn't know the truth about Jesus then, you definitely know the truth about him now.
A decade ago, he spoke. Wait.
Villain. Kidnapping children is not what great nations do.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
He's the guy.
You don't know what it is. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? Like, for years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, and they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things. And, you know what they're trying to do? Who? This thing is buzzing. Hold on. They're trying to turn us into, consumer drones of some sort.
How did he know? People going crazy think they found a code word for human meat? Wait. What? North Korea executes school children for watching the Squid Game. Wow. Damn. Damn.
He's gonna have one eye. You've seen the celebrities all over the place. Look at them. The Weeknd, everyone does it. All the biggest people in the industry. They all go like this, and they all go like this.
Prophet Muhammad said he'll have one eye. And what's gonna be one of his tools, Sonny Boy?
Artificial intelligence, AI. Just look for yourself. Pop it up if you want. The eye is everywhere.
Did she say what I think she said, or am I just too deep into these Epstein files?
We are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution by everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat,
Rewind!
The babies we eat, the babies we eat.
Is this mother in the files too? I'm going to check.
North Carolina. And he was a very conservative guy who was very, very...
Oh my gosh, that's a mass.
African American when he got
Holy cow.
He always had fights.
So here's Madonna's tattoo, and it's the Kabbalah tree. And here's David Bowie drawing the Kabbalah tree. This tree is on your hands, and it's basically a blueprint that represents how consciousness comes down and solidifies itself into a physical reality. Malkuth represents earth, physical reality, and Keter represents pure light consciousness. There are two ways you can use this tree. You can use it as an ascension tool to go from Malkuth, the physical world, and ascend your consciousness up the tree to divine source, or you can use it in magic to bring down the higher forces of consciousness to create a physical reality in magic. Now, we all know why these people probably use it. You can use the tree for bad reasons and for good reasons. This Christian painting called the Holy Trinity even has the Kabbalah tree inside of it, and it's from 1625, and you can find this in Rome in this church. Tree can be divided in these 4 sections representing the 4 dimensions of consciousness: the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and the physical. And that's how consciousness solidifies into a physical reality. We have willpower. Willpower turns into thought and thinking. Thinking turns into emotion and desire. And that turns into a physical action to create the physical world.
Oh my god. How about that, huh? A video is just posted from the Epstein files showing a large system underground tunnels. What the fuck? This is in Jeffrey Epstein's tunnels? Here's more footage in the tunnels. What the fuck? Oh my god.
You haven't seen this?
That's him!
Holy
Your allegation that government officials are aiding in pedophilia, child and the grooming of children, right?
You mean like what Jeffrey Epstein did with the clones?
Sure, if that's a yes, is that a yes?
Jay-Z, Harvey Weinstein, Beardy Lee.
You're the only one who ever yelled at me, by the way, when I take it
Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. A billionaire, whatever this guy is, Harvey Weinstein, a Epstein lister, as Jay-Z and tells Jay-Z he wants to see him get yelled at by the, he's talking to the billionaire. I want to see you yell at him like you yell at me. And then what Jay-Z do?
The government is ran by satanic files.
You are free, but I warn you, if you make any further inquiries, or if you say a single word to anyone about what you have seen, there will be the most dire consequences for you and your family. Do you understand?
Wow, how about that? Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, this is just crazy. Jeffrey Epstein is a 300-year-old vampire who was previously, in another life, Andrew Jackson, previous president of the United States of America. So, yeah.
I won't be surprised if they were actually related.
Yeah, this is, and it makes sense, right? Because it does, because Andrew Jackson, how many like gunshot wounds did he survive? Like, I mean, that's not human, right? I mean, how could somebody get shot that many times and just keep going? So what is it about Andrew Jackson? How did that happen? And now I think that there's a chance that Andrew Jackson and Jeffrey Epstein are in fact the same person.
Happy birthday is witchcraft. Touch wood is an ancient magic ritual to summon the tree spirits. Turning the lights off and chanting happy birthday while blowing out candles and making a wish is a form of magic rituals. Black mirrors were used to contact spirits, and we use them every single day. They were called scrying mirrors. Scry became screen. When you are praying, you are trying to cast a spell to change reality with your words. The word abracadabra translates to I will create with my words. This is why we call it spelling. It's a spell. Birthday rituals are making you age quicker. When we say how old are you, we are tricking our subconscious mind that we are old. When you jinx something, this is a jinn, which is an invisible creature within the astral planes.
The Earth and with their satellites and with the astronauts, it's a particular signal that nobody is allowed to use. Period. It is so highly guarded, frequency, and no one is allowed to use it ever except NASA. And then he said, but these little devices that he was.
I want to talk about a word that's found in the Old Testament. The word is Mazzaroth. It's found in the book of Job in the Jewish Old Testament of the Bible. In the book of Job 38:32, God is talking to Job. And here we have in the New King James Version, we go to Job 38:32, and here God is questioning Job. And he's saying to Job, can you bind the cluster of the Pleiades or loose the belt of Orion? And then God asked Job, can you bring out Mazzaroth in its season? Let's go to another Bible translation. And here it is, Job 38:32 again.
So look, check this out, y'all. Like I said, man, this is gonna be from now on, man. I'm finna be on a spiritual journey, cause I'm so back interested in the Bible. It's like I caught fire all over again. I'm finna go back and finna read the Bible again, thoroughly, from what the things that I know, and I'm gonna go to the Google map. I'm finna look at everybody's routes. So that's what Kanika Jenkins taught me. What's the route? I'm looking at this like, hey, they said they walked this route and that route. It ended up over here. But you know what I'm saying? If you got all these river systems, you really don't need to walk. You can actually connect to a river. You can actually flow down or up the screen. Know what I'm saying? But yeah, gang, I might go live probably later on night, I might don't though. But stay tuned. I'll be back.